Okay, guys, well, I just wanted to do a quick video because I'm really getting sick and tired of seeing these bullshit articles about this volcano on White Island and how there was no warning that this volcano could have erupted. And this geologist was saying there was very little warning that New Zealand's White Island was about to erupt. Now, most of you would be aware that the volcano on White Island erupted while there were tourists there. Some tourists are still missing. I think the death toll is now up to 8. And they are trying to give the impression that this was just a very sudden and unexpected event and that these tourists were just very unlucky. And so I just want to put this absolute bullshit to rest and basically show you that there has been increased activity, some of it unprecedented, with this White Island volcano since at least June this year. So I actually watch the earth changes and all of these events very, very closely. I post all of these earth changes and all of these events daily on my MeWe group. Now, the reason that I do this is because I am not a channel that just uploads earth changes, and I could easily do this every day and upload a video in regards to all the changes that are taking place, and that would then make my channel a channel about earth changes, and that's not what my channel is about. My channel is about the ancient texts and the ancient mythologies and prophecies left to us by our ancestors, who basically warned us what to expect when we were nearing the end of the great year, which we now are, when we are in the Iron Age, which we now are. And so I actually use all of these events that we are now seeing and this escalation of earth changes to basically confirm the prophecies and all of the information and knowledge that was left to us by our ancient ancestors. And this can also be seen in the political atmosphere and the political stage shows that we are now seeing taking place around our planet. It is all connected. Everything is connected, and anybody who studies Hermetics understands the laws of correspondence, which basically tells us that everything is connected. Nothing is separate. So when we understand these laws, we understand that we have to look at everything as a part of the bigger picture, which is what I do. And so basically I host all of these earth changes and these political events that I feel are very significant and something that we should be paying attention to in my group. And I've actually been posting about the White Island volcano since June. I have actually reposted these articles in the comments section of the post I did in regards to the White Island volcano erupting and killing people. So I just wanted to show you that basically since June the 26th, we have seen very increased activity. As I say, some of it unprecedented. Here it says SO2 at historically high levels on White Island. Alert levels raised. 26th of June. September 26th, steam-driven activity at White Island increasing as rising crater lake drowns active vents. October 31st, 2019, increased activity at White Island volcano, New Zealand. I mean, I don't know what they were actually thinking was going to happen when they're actually seeing all of this increased activity, and then they're still allowing tourists to actually not only walk around the crater, but actually inside of the crater too. So not only were they letting these people visit this active volcano that was displaying increased activity since June, they're actually letting them walk inside the crater. And then you have these idiots saying, oh, there was no real warning that it was going to happen. And this geologist, oh, you know, we had very little warning that it was going to erupt. These people are paid by the government, okay? This is why you cannot trust establishment scientists and establishment experts, because they are paid to stick to the narrative, to stick to what they should be basically telling the public, to allay their fears and to make sure that the government does not have to be responsible for these types of events. And somebody should be responsible for allowing tourists to visit this island when this volcano, as you can see, was getting more and more active, because the articles were becoming more and more regular as the activity was increasing. So November 25th, moderate volcanic unrest at White Island Volcano once again. December 3rd, explosive gas and steam-driven mud jetting continues at White Island's Crater Lake. So how they can say that there was no actual signs that there was an impending eruption is just absolute bullshit. We can see that at least 4 days before it actually happened, or 5 days before, this was the 3rd of December, and I think it happened on the 9th, if I'm correct, or the 8th. So as we can see, this was telling people, do not go near this volcano. It is showing increased activity of an impending eruption. And yet these people are trying to tell us that no, there was no signs of an eruption and there was very little warning, and it was just really a big, bad and unforeseen accident that happened to these people. So I would suggest that people, if you want to actually prepare for this continued increased escalation of changes around our planet and political events that are only going to get more significant and more violent and darker. I mean, next year, if you think that we had a very violent 2019, then you ain't seen nothing yet, because 2020 is going to be even worse, and we're also going to experience even more severe and more significant weather events. It's just going to continue, and cause and effect is just going to happen closer together, and it's going to make people feel like they are basically not able to compose themselves after one event, because another event is just going to pretty much happen straight away. And that's going to also be in the political arena, not just with earth changes, not just with severe weather events, severe earthquakes and more volcanic activity. I mean, we're seeing volcanic activity increasing, though they try and play the, oh, we can't be sure that volcanic activity has been increasing. It's just that we are actually now observing more of these events because we have better equipment. That's bullshit, okay? What happened in Hawaii last year was unprecedented, okay? We are seeing volcanoes that have been extinct starting to wake up. We are seeing volcanoes that haven't erupted for hundreds of years starting to wake up. So something is definitely happening with the volcanic activity. And so my advice would be, don't listen to these experts, okay? They're only going to follow the government narrative and tell you that everything's okay. Don't you worry about a thing. Don't you worry your little head about anything. It's all okay. And if there are any problems, it's your fault, because you're causing all of this climate change, because you're actually emitting more CO2. And that's also absolute garbage, and just what these people are using to cover this natural shift that we are now seeing on our planet, which is all part of the cycle that we exist in. And so if people want to learn more about the cycle that we exist in, then I would suggest you watch this playlist here, The Great Year, that explains that we exist in a cycle, explains that every culture knew of this cycle. And this is now what scientists ignore, and almost every expert, whether they be on alternative media or in the mainstream, ignore this cycle. And then everyone just basically is mystified at why this is happening. You know, yes, there is a grand solar minimum coming. Yes, I would suggest that this winter is going to be even more severe than last winter. And this is also confirming the Norse mythology, which I've also been keeping track of and doing uploads about as well. I did one last year. I don't think I need to do one every year. I pretty much laid it out last year that if last year wasn't Fimbulwinter and the most brutal winter historically that we've seen, then it's coming. And so it may very well be this winter because we're already seeing records broken. It's not even winter and they're saying that we're having all these winter storms. Well, hello, it's not winter until the 22nd of December. Okay, astronomical winter, which can't be changed by any meteorologist or any expert, happens because of the way the Earth moves around the sun. And that doesn't happen till the 22nd December. So we're still in autumn in the Northern Hemisphere, and we're seeing record-breaking cold weather and storms, which they are calling winter storms. So very interesting how we get winter storms in autumn. But anyway, this is another way that they basically try to suppress the truth. So this is all going to keep increasing. This is all going to keep escalating. And, you know, trying to unravel prophecy, trying to put a timing on how prophecy unfolds isn't an exact science. You know, you only can do your best by your own observations, which is what I've been trying to do for many, many years. And I am seeing that these winters are getting more brutal, and this is exactly what the Norse mythology was telling us. I've done many videos in regards to that. Also, the Persians mentioned the mighty winter and the great winter as well, and how this happened at the end of the cycle. So I would suggest that people look into this if you want the truth, or you can actually just keep listening to people like that. They look very intelligent, don't they? He looks very educated, doesn't he? He really looks like he knows what he's saying. So, you know, don't listen to our ancestors. You know, even though everything they're saying is happening exactly as they prophesied, exactly as they said it would happen and warned us about, let's just ignore all them and listen to these so-called experts who lie to us and say there was very little warning about this White Island volcano that was showing activity was going to erupt. You know, there was no warning apparently. Well, you know, we can see that, yes, there were plenty of warnings all the way back to June the 26th. This volcano was showing heightened activity. Anyway, guys, I will leave it here. If you want to follow me on MeWe, I've got the link in the description underneath this video. I will post all of these articles under the video as well, and you can actually read them for yourself about how this volcano was actually showing more and more unrest. And you can make up your own minds. I mean, I'm not here to convince anyone. I really don't care what anyone wants to believe. I, however, have done a lot of research and study over the years, and I feel that I am basically responsible now for sharing the knowledge that I have gathered over the years with others. What people do with that knowledge is completely up to them. But at least I will know that when everything basically plays out in the most horrific and unfortunate way for mankind, that I did my very best to warn as many people as possible. So if you want to be one of those people that actually understand what is happening, then I would actually basically advise that you would look at all of this information left to us by our ancestors. And if you don't really care about that and you are rather wanting to just listen to people like him because he looks, you know, very secure, doesn't he? It's very safe to listen to people like this because look at him. He's so educated. He knows everything. He'll keep you safe. So if that's the way you feel, then yeah, ignore what I'm saying here and just listen to these experts and let's just see how that works out for you. Anyway, as I said, guys, I'll leave it here. I hope everybody's well. And as always, peace out.